Hey guys, it's Helen553. Welcome back to another Beyblade X unboxing. Today we're going to be checking out the second of the Wave 5 jewel packs from Hasbro, that being Pearl Tiger and Gill Shark. So first off, a look at the packaging. Same as the packaging from Crest Leone and Sphinx Cow. Got the gunmetal gray banding. The Birth BX base, so you got the Birth logos there. You could have just maybe got rid of just one, but whatever. Nice open window showing off Birth base here. And on the back, just goes over details of each of the bays. So, of course, with Pearl Tiger, we have the Pearl Tiger Blade, 360, and Unite, and it is a bounce type. And then for Gill Shark, of course, we have the blade itself. We have the 470 ratchet, and we have the O-bit, and it is a stamina type. So, let's get into this. So, this is another one of my pickups from the National Championships. So, I'm very happy to finally have this. So get opened. And there's two bays. So I'll get all the parts laid on the table and we'll go over them in more detail. Right, so here is Pearl Tiger and Gill Shark out of the packaging. So first off, we're going to have a quick look at Pearl Tiger. So here is the Pearl Tiger blade, or the West Tiger blade. So this is a balance type blade. So it has 6 blades, but they're pretty much two of each. So we got 2 of these, 3 of each, I should say, sorry. So we got 3 of these blades right here, and we got 3 of these blades right here. So leads to some really interesting kind of like barrage attacks from this blade. As underneath is the QR code you can scan into the app. Now, Pearl Tiger is actually probably one of those blades that is honestly pretty difficult to master. It's not like, say, like Drum Buster or Hover Wyvern, where you can actually really use it effectively right out of the box. Pearl Tiger, like, you can if you are really good at it, but it is one of those blades that is not the easiest to master. So, but if you can master it, it can be a really effective blade. So this is classified as a balance type blade, so can work pretty well in some balance type combos and some attack type combos. Next up, we have the 360 ratchet. Not a new part, but very nice to have this. I mean, 360 is one of the best ratchets around, so to get another one is very nice. And being from Hasbro, it is quite a bit tighter, so really, really nice to have that. Finally, for the bit, we have U, otherwise known as Unite. Now, Unite is pretty interesting as it is kind of a different take on Taper, mainly because it has a little nub in the middle, similar to Point. Now, supposedly, like with the original, like from when this bay got revealed, the nub was a bit more protruding was a bit more protrusive, but on the final release, it's a bit more recessed. So Unite just ends up performing very similar to Taper, but just probably maybe a little bit more aggressive. But it's honestly a bit you don't really see much on the field when compared to Taper. It's still a decent bit, but you're better off just using Taper if you are going to be using that kind of balance type combo. But still, pretty good bay overall. Now let's focus on the main reason I really wanted this jewel pack. We have Gill Shark. So this is another Hasbro release that is a remold of an existing bay. So, in itself is actually kind of exciting. So here is the blade itself. So Gill Shark here is a remold of Shelter Drake. So the main traits with this blade is these 2 blades right here. So it's a lot thinner compared to other blades around. And so this is supposed to help it give it some really nice upper attacks. So if you have this bay on a really low combo, you could actually maybe get some really nice upper attacks, which is pretty cool. And especially with how curved these blades are. And underneath, there's the QR code. Now, unfortunately, this blade is actually quite light. Supposedly, this is using the like the prototype Shelter Drake plastic here, not the final release of it. So as a result of this, a lot of this metal had to get hollowed out just to fit on the ratchet, which is honestly pretty disappointing. I'm not too sure why they couldn't use the final release of Shelter, so they didn't have to resort to hollowing out all the plastic. Because honestly, this does let the bay down a little bit. But it can do pretty decently in the Hasbro Stadium from what I've seen. But just in the TT format, it does struggle a lot. Next up, we have the 470 Ratchet. Not a new part. We've gone over this part quite a few times already now. But still, nice part to have here. And some really nice colors, actually. I love the pink. And then, like, the clear core. It's like, it's actually not clear. It's actually kind of more of a lighter pink. But still, looks really nice. Finally, for the bit, we actually have Orb. Nice part to have here. Orb hasn't had that many releases ever since the original release, so to get another version of Orb is pretty nice. So that's it for Gill Shark. Alright, let's get some weights in from this dual pack. So we're gonna start off with Pearl Tiger. So the Unite bit weighs 2.14 grams. I just weighed one of these. Where did I put it? Here we go. From Muscle Source. So we'll just do a quick comparison here. So 2.14 versus 2.12. So yeah, pretty small difference there when it comes to weights. The 360 ratchet, this weighs 6.31 grams. And the Pearl Tiger blade, this weighs 34.61 grams. So that's a pretty decent weight overall for a blade here. It's definitely getting close to 35 grams, which is kind of the norm for a lot of blades at the moment. But 34.61 is actually pretty good. So all together. So there's the full combo. So the full combo weighs 43.02 grams. So pretty decent weight. Now for Gill Shark. So the Orb bit, this weighs 1.99 grams. The 470 ratchet, this weighs 4.62 grams. And then finally the Gill Shark blade, this weighs 29.53 grams. So yeah, that is very, very light. There are some that are hitting close to 30 grams, but not many, which is definitely unfortunate. If this metal didn't get hauled out, we could be looking maybe close to the 33 grams, maybe 34 grams. But yeah, a bit unfortunate. So all together, there's the full combo. So the full combo weighs 37.9 grams. So yeah, definitely quite a bit lighter compared to Weiss Tiger. I mean, that's pretty much a 6 grams difference there. So definitely going to be interesting to see how it goes against Pearl Tiger and other bays in the Hasbro Stadium. So that is it for my look at the Pearl Tiger and Gill Shark Duel Pack. In my opinion, this dual pack is pretty good, but it does have some drawbacks to it. So, Pearl Tiger, it's a pretty decent blade, but it's definitely one of those blades that is not easy to master. So, this is definitely going to be a blade that if you want to use it, you have to be very specific with it. 360 ratchet, I mean, it's nice to have those. But Unite, I mean, Unite can be usable, but it's definitely not as good when you compare it to Taper, High Taper, and even Kick, which are very similar bits to this. So, honestly, if you are going to be thinking of using this, you're better off using those bits. And as you can see, like, it did struggle in the Hasbro Stadium, which I actually found a bit surprising. But again, it is not an easy blade to master. Now, Gill Shark. Man, I mean, I will say, in the Hasbro Stadium, it actually does pretty decently. It's actually making good use of its shape to perform some really nice upper attacks to destabilize bays. So, I will say, if you're going to be using this guy in the Hasbro format, this bay will do really, really well. But, unfortunately, in the TT Stadium, this bay will definitely struggle quite a lot, and that's mainly due to its weight. I'm really not too sure why Takara used the original prototype plastic for Shelter Drake instead of using the actual one, so they didn't have to hole out all this metal. Because if this bay actually didn't have all this hollowed out metal and was more of a weight similar to the original Shelter Drake, we could actually be looking at a real nasty threat in the stadium. But unfortunately, it's just not the case with this bay, which honestly is kind of sad. But again, like I said, it does do pretty well in the Hasbro Stadium. 470, I mean, we've talked about this ratchet so many times on the channel now. It's actually kind of ridiculous. I mean, I still actually have bays over there that actually have 470 to review, so we're going to be talking about that ratchet more and more for the next few videos. So, but yeah, I mean, it can be a decent ratchet, but it's definitely not the best. But Orb, nice bit to have here. Oh, it's a little gunky, but Orb, very nice bit to have here, and nice to actually see this this bit a bit more available now. But can I still recommend this dual pack? Honestly, yeah, I can. But definitely not if you're super competitive. I mean, there are some competitive parts in here, I will say that, but overall, you're better off getting the Crest Leon and Sphinx Cal dual pack if you want something a bit more competitive. But, I mean, this one will still do as well. But that's going to do it for this review. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned for more Beyblade X videos in the future. And until then, I'll see you all in the next video.